to you and many thanks for joining us on the evening news at ABS. My name is Ifunaya Amafili and we'll start with our top stories. State government is to continue to engage and dialogue with the youth to ensure sustained development. Mentally challenged woman discovered with hundreds of thousands of naira in Oka. NAFDAC bans Malco vitamin B complex injections for contamination reports. And on the foreign scene, 80 people in India infected with Zika virus as pregnant women remain most endangered. And we'll start with the news in details. The state government has assured to continue in formulations of policies and development of action plans that will be all-inclusive youth development. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Nkem Okeke, gave the assurance when he received an audience Southeast leadership and members of the Nigerian Youth Council of Nigeria. And our Government House correspondent, Ejike Abana, tells us more.
The new leadership of the region was elected about 3 months ago. Receiving the team on behalf of Governor Willie Obiano, Deputy Governor Okeke stressed the importance of continued dialogue and engagement with the youth, underscoring that they need to be encouraged to become major stakeholders in the scheme of things in the nation. Deputy Governor Okeke pledged the commitment and support of the Obiano-led administration to the affairs of the youth, urging them to utilize their God-given opportunity for the benefits of the society.
I've heard your request, and I'm glad you said it written to His Excellency, who is currently unavailable. But I'll see if I can reach him and see what are the possibilities of my attending your function.
The team, led by the Southeast Vice President of the Council, Prince Chibuike Echem, said the visit was to present themselves to the state government after their emergence from the council's election in Gombe State, where he said Anambra State got 2 national positions of Deputy President and Vice President for the very first time in the history of the council. Prince Echem said that it is regrettable that the council seems to have a big name but very little value and respect in the eyes of the public, saying that they remain the major youth fora in the country and that their contemporaries in the north enjoy massive support from their leaders.
In view of that, we said it's important that we come to, write to you, to present ourselves, seek the support and partnership of the state.
The Anambra State Chairman of the Youth Council, Mr. Samuel Egwato, applauded state government for their friendly disposition towards the youths, promising to use the veritable platform offered by the council to impact the youth of their zone before the expiration of the tenure. From the Government House, Oka, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The United Nations General Assembly has since 1993 designated 17th of October each year as the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty to promote people's awareness of the need to eradicate poverty and destitution worldwide, particularly in developing countries. This year's celebration is significant as it is the first observance following the formal adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals by the General Assembly of the United Nations. And we'll join our correspondent, Emmanuel Okunko, who brings us more on that story.
Poverty is a phenomenon that has cost a lot of people their happiness, loved ones, and even lives. In Nigeria, the poverty rate stands at 33.1%, which is one extremely poor person in every 3 persons in the country, as there is a fundamental connection between extreme poverty and human rights. People living in poverty are disproportionately affected by many human rights violations, hence the need for its eradication in the society. Speaking on the essence of the day, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Political Matters, Dr. Vero Okechukwu, commended the UN Assembly for setting up such a day, which according to her would help in drawing people's attention, especially the rich, to the need to use their resources in helping and impacting lives of the poor and less privileged for a greater and better society. Dr. Okechukwu used the opportunity to call on youths in the state to key into skill acquisition programs ongoing in the state for self-reliance, emphasizing that the youth have no reason to acquire a skill, as the state government and the wife of the state governor, Chief Ebelechukwu Obiano, have provided avenues for free skill acquisition training and empowerment for them.
The rich really needs to help the poor. because that's the most important aspect of life. When God blesses you, you should bless others. The individual has a level of giftedness. So every you should endeavor to find out the area of giftedness in his or her life.
On his part, the vicar St. John's Anglican Church, Okpuno, in Awka South local government area, Reverend Canon Onyeka Egwonwu, posited that poverty, though cannot be totally eradicated, can be reduced if political leaders could learn and adhere to tenets of good leadership and stop prioritizing their personal interest over that of the masses, civil servants going for retirement in due time, and young people giving themselves to learning and hard work.
I will always call government and church. There are the institutions that will bring sanity to the society. Church is not all these personally owned churches and ministries. Because those ones are not that trouble to the society. They tell you a lot of things. They tell you a lot of unwritten, printable things. I'm talking about the Church of God. I'm talking about government instituted by God.
In Awka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Residents of Aroma Axis of Awka were full of surprises when a mentally retarded woman that resides under the flyover was caught with tens of thousands of naira by the officials of the Ministry of Children and Women Affairs, led by the commissioner in charge of the ministry, Lady Ndidi Mezwe, and we have that report.
Speaking to the ABS after the discovery, the commissioner said that Governor Willie Obiano mandated the ministry to sanitize the state of mentally challenged people by picking them from across the state and sending them to the mentally challenged home in Teje, Oyi local government area for rehabilitation. The commissioner further revealed that they picked up the woman under the Aroma flyover in their routine exercise and discovered the money with her, and upon interview, the woman who could barely talk gave her name as Abike from Lagos State and revealed that her uncle dropped her under the flyover some time ago with a huge amount of money and left.
So he made us understand that the uncle dropped her here with this box and money. But if you ask me, maybe these ones are what people normally can have. So this is what we find box. So from here, we are taking her to Nkeje, mentally challenged home, where we will take care of her. We have our Reverend sisters and our staff, supporting staff, that will take care of her and other inmates there.
Commissioner Mezue regretted that most of the mentally challenged people roaming the state are not from Anambra State and assured that they will reunite the woman with her family after she must have been certified mentally stable by all the medical experts at Nteje mentally challenged home.
Last month, we repatriated 10 inmates at Nteje home. 3 of them came from Kogi, 2 is from Delta, 1 is from Enugu State, while others are from other neighboring states as well.
Despite the efforts of the state and federal government to ensure better living conditions for people affected by flood disasters who are now residing at the holding centers in parts of Anambra, it seems there are still some mounting challenges that may be taken care of before they return to their various homes. And David Opokwasili visited the Father Joseph Memorial Secondary School, Aguleri, in Anambra East local government area, where some of those living in the centers shared their plights. The report.
Consequent upon the deluge that hit an alarming number of communities early last month, several families were thrown out from their homes and many of their farms and worship places were destroyed. Their only option was to run to the holding centers provided by the state government until the flood recedes and then return to their families. Some of the persons affected by the flood and officers of Red Cross who spoke to the ABS commended the state government for its prompt response to their plight. They, however, listed some of their challenges in the holding centers.
ọzọ bụ na ego anyị nidile ego ego anyị eji wee rụọ ọrụ ka anyị nidile ma anyị na nwere ụgwọ anyị na-abụ
ụtalị izu esi wee eketara iwe ebe ndị mụ na onwe m anya ịba na-egwu eriasi dịrị m ụzọ ụlọ ọbụla ajụ mmadụ ebe akwalite ụkwala ejibebe anyị na-alụ ọrụ ofụma anyị na-agụ nwa ndị mmadụ na ebido general hospital
ka challenges unu na-enwegasị
enwere enough team like ya na-ere ma ọ bụ ihe ọgwụgwụ anyị na-ere
medical facilities
ndị isi wetara na ọbụla wetara ambulance
okay
because ambulance ndị ebe a dịrị enough ụmụ nwaanyị edupụtara kịta na chikọjuru hospitals nwere ike ịnweta ambulance.
Thank you. The principal of the school, Reverend Father Anthony Okoye, who disclosed that the school has been providing academic opportunities for the affected children of primary and secondary school age, also shared his experience while catering for the needs of the center.
Most of them, they really think about how they've lost what they planted, but how to pay back those loans. How to pay back most of them due to that depression. Some of, like the case we had today, we had a casualty today. Somebody died in the camp, and that depression may have shorted to that.
However, it seemed a ray of hope enveloped the camp when the traditional ruler of Aguleri, Ezekrisovi Digo, and his cabinet arrived at the camp to provide food items to assuage their suffering, which is in line with calls by government to well-meaning individuals and organizations to provide necessary assistance to complement government efforts. Eze Digo, while assuring of the support of the community and government, suggested for early farming in flood-prone areas to ensure harvesting before the times of flood.
I decided with my cabinet who are available to come and let them know that we are with them, especially as it's almost true that they will soon go. I didn't start planting in time, not knowing that it will meet us. So I'm advising that immediately after Christmas, even they should not wait. Once the place is dry, they should start immediately so that before you say close to rainy places, you already harvested. They know what I'm talking about.
While suggesting for better ways to mitigate the effects of the flood, the chairman of Aguleri Royal Cabinet, Chief Dominic Ndife, called for the training of residents of flood-prone areas of the state in early warning systems and skills to manage the effects of the flood. He said this will help villagers to initiate interventions when need arises. Other analysts harped on the need to inculcate the services of psychotherapists to take care of the psychological needs of the people at the holding centers and as well increase the number of other health workers to provide faster access to medical services for the residents of the holding centers. From Aguleri, Anambra East Local Government Area, this is David Okpokwase reporting for ABS News.
Ohaneze Ndibo has expressed support for the nomination of former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, as the running mate of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Briefing journalists in Okar, the president of Ohaneze Ndibo Anambra State chapter, Chief Damian Okeke Ogene, noted that though Ohaneze is not a political organization, it is fully committed to the political future of Ndibo, Southeast, and Nigeria.
Chief Okeke Ogene stated that the stand of Ohaneze on restructuring and its resolve to support any political party and candidate with a manifesto to actualize the agenda, which he said is why Ohaneze Ndibo is supporting the choice of Peter Obi as a vice presidential candidate, noting that the choice has gained worldwide acceptance and commendations because it offers the fairness and good conscience in the country.
In line with this, Ohaneze Ndibo resolved to support any political party and candidate with a manifesto of actualizing the restructuring. This is why Ohaneze Ndibo Anambra State Chapter is declaring total support for the choice of Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of the state, as the running mate to the PDP presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Motorists and street traders have been warned against blocking of the expressway with vehicles and wares to avoid causing gridlocks and preventable road crashes. The Managing Director, Anambra Traffic Management Agency, ATMA, Mr. Chris Uzoechina, gave the warning during a decongestion exercise on major roads and streets in Onitsha and environs. And our correspondent, Ogochukwu Okeke, was there and now reports.
The decongestion exercise kicked off along Owerri Road through Upper Iweka, Oguta Road, and terminating at the Ochanja axis of the commercial city. Ms. Uzoechina explained that the aim of the exercise was to ensure free flow of traffic along the major roads of the state, stressing that congestion on the roads causes delays and accidents. Ms. Uzoechina charged those involved in the act to retrace their steps in their own interest, maintaining that none of the goods and vehicles confiscated would be released to the owners. He reiterated that the agency would do everything within its power to ensure that commercial bus drivers and traders adhere to regulations of the government in enhancing free flow of traffic. In their reaction, road users Mr. Emekeze and Daniel Ike, who expressed satisfaction with the operation, recalled how difficult it had always been driving through the areas. They commended the state government for embarking on such exercise. The ever-busy Upper Iweka, Owerri Road, Oguta Road, and Ochanja, after the decongestion exercise, witnessed free flow of human and vehicular movements.
And moving over to news on the national scene, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has banned the importation, sale, and distribution of Malco vitamin B complex injection in Nigeria due to contamination. The drug is produced by Shecherem Pharmaceuticals PVT Limited in India. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, announced the ban in a statement in Abuja today. Adeyeye said that laboratories analysis by WHO indicates that the product is unfit for human consumption. She said that the use of the product could cause serious health hazards, urging healthcare providers and members of the public to stop the administration and use of the affected product to avoid negative health complications. The Director General therefore advised all importers, wholesalers and retailers to immediately stop the importation, distribution and sale of Malco vitamin B complex injections. She urged anyone in possession of the affected products to submit it to the nearest NAFDAC office. A police patrol team attached to Awada Division of the Nigerian Police has arrested 2 tenants of number 4 Sheba Street, Fege in Onitsha, Mr. Samuel Awoke and Timothy Peter, in connection with a robbery incident along Central Park, Onitsha. The 22-year-old Samuel and Timothy, aged 19, were suspected of attacking and robbing a man of 100,000 naira cash, a mobile phone, and other valuables along Central Park, Onitsha. According to a release by the State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Haruna Mohammed, the suspects also specialize in trailing their victims using an unregistered keke napep tricycle, which was also recovered by the police. Mr. Haruna said that the case is under investigations, after which the suspects will be charged to court for prosecution. In another development, the police patrol team attached to Oyi Division, while on patrol along Umunya Road, has discovered a golden-colored Toyota Corolla LE car with registration number GDD 906NL. The vehicle was abandoned around Enugu-Onitsha Expressway by Umunya. The command is imploring the public whose vehicle was either stolen or snatched and has matched the above description to report at Oyi Division in Inteje or the Police Public Relations Office in Oka with sufficient proof of ownership in order to claim the vehicle. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has denied claims that it has in its custody about 3.5 billion naira subsidy funds. Chidima Ikeanyomu is here and will join for the business news.
Statement in Abuja, the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the NNPC, Mr. Ndoha Madu, explained that at the heat of the shortage of products supply at the close of last year, the National Assembly asked the NNPC to do everything possible to stem the hiccups. Ohamadu revealed that accordingly, NNPC initiated the move to raise a revolving fund of $1.5 billion since the corporation was and is still the sole importer and supplier of the white products in the country. The NNPC spokesman said ever since the fund had been domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria, saying at no time was it in the custody of the NNPC. Ohamadu said the fund, dubbed the National Wealth Support Fund, had been jointly managed by the NNPC, the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), the Federal Ministry of Finance, the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency (PPPRA), Office of the Accountant General of the Federation (OAGF), the Department of Petroleum Resources (DPR), and the Petroleum Equalization Fund (PEF).
And moving over to the foreign scene, at least 80 people in India have been infected with the Zika virus, which is potentially dangerous for pregnant women and their fetus. According to the Indian government, nearly 24 of those infected are pregnant women. To prevent further spread of the virus, 330 special teams have been spraying and fumigating houses in the western state of Rajasthan. Currently, there is no cure for the virus, and the World Health Organization does not expect one to be released until 2020 at the earliest. And on the sports scene, wheelchair tennis players across the country today kicked off the 4-day national ranking tournament in Lagos. Head coach of Nigeria's wheelchair tennis, Frank Temara, informed that no fewer than 120 players from all parts of Nigeria are taking part in the tournament, which will be used to grade players in the country. The men's draw for the tournament, which is bankrolled by Nigeria's Tennis Federation President Ifedayo Akindoju, will be round of 32 for men and the same for women's category. Currently, Alex Adewale is the prime seed for the male, while Kafayat Omisore tops the women's ranking. Adewale represented Nigeria at the 2012 London Olympics and has won the last 6 editions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Open and will be given a fierce challenge by the likes of Wasiu Yusuf, Latif Shodipo, Jude Uwaze, while Omisore will have Tosin Dawudu and Chuturu Nwaozuzu amongst her toughest challengers for the top placements. Tamena stressed that beyond the points at stake, the tourney will put Nigeria in good stead ahead of upcoming international tournaments, which include the African Championship, billed for February 2019 in Ghana. And remember that you can follow our news and programs on ABS from any part of the world simply by logging on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com, or like us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, or follow us on our Twitter and Instagram handle at ABS Radio TV. And before we wrap up the news for tonight, we'll go through our top stories for today. The state government is to continue to engage and dialogue with the youth to ensure sustained development. A mentally challenged woman has been discovered with hundreds of thousands of naira in Oka. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has banned Malco vitamin B complex injection for contamination reports. And on the foreign scene, 80 people in India have been infected with Zika virus as pregnant women remain most endangered. And that's a wrap from the evening news from the studio of ABS. Many thanks for being with us. My name is Ifunaya Amafili. Do have a pleasant evening.